Hi there everybody, how's it going? This is Matt the Tomato right here. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to some more SimCity 4, where the region is one big city. So we did it the last episode, we did a couple of request cities. We did Pint over here, and we also did Toonville over this way. And we've been building up this area for a fair bit. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to leave that alone for a little while. And I'm actually going to go ahead and build up one of these other tiles over here, which is sort of closer to the city centre, because there is another request city here. So, and based on the type of request that's come through, I think it's probably going to come in over this way. So, what we're going to do here is obviously we are going to do the transition where the dense stuff over here is going to slowly transition into medium. So we'll obviously have to do that. Let me just double check that this reconciliation has worked out, because if it has, I can just leave it, which would be great. It kind of has, yeah, and kind of hasn't. Yeah, it's really weird. So, almost needs to just disappear a little bit here. So, the unfortunate thing is I'm going to have to, like, do this. And it might just delete that road, which is really not what I actually wanted to do, but that's alright. Right, okay, so this is fine. So if we do something like that, we probably have to, what we'll have to do is include a small piece of water in the bottom corner of the adjacent tile over here, like this. Yeah, so that's definitely way off, to be quite honest. That's way off. So, yeah, the issue is, obviously, this is where the motorway runs. So, there's not a lot I can do there. It looks really dumb, though. Unless we do some messing around over here. So yeah, okay. So I know what to do here. So unfortunately, it's gonna be a pain in the ass because we're doing it this way. Here we go. Shut up. Right. So yeah, where we're doing it this way, it's gonna be a lot more annoying. Oh no! I did not mean to do that. Lovely. Okay. Well done. Actually, I don't think I was bothered about the height, was I? No, it didn't need to be. Although I could just, yeah, I did it like this. I'm pretty sure. So, right. Okay. Right. That was. Let's do round 2. That must have been where I was running the water pipe as well. So, in that case, we're going to have to do this a bit differently. So, actually, no, is that correct? Oh, no, this is industry. So, no, there was no water pipe there. Okay, fair enough. So, how about we don't do that again? Instead, let's push this back a bit. Right, so I have just destroyed that, but, you know, that's one of those things. So let's push that back a bit, there, see how we get on. Right, so I obviously need to join this back together here. Like that, and I also need to redo this, and I'm bloody hoping I can. There we go, lovely. So that might actually be the way to do it. So if I then go and save and exit to region, it might not look so bad. So sort of okay. Yeah, no, that's okay, because kind of the bridge kind of hides it a little bit there. So no, I have no problem with that. Okay, right. So we need to work out, obviously, where the elevated rail and stuff is going to go. And also we need to work out where we're going to do our transition from dense buildings to medium, so high density to medium density. So we're going to go here with Mint Waters, and this is going to be Retro Green. He has requested this one. He requested another city as well in this region. But yes, so we're going to do this. Now obviously what I could just do is do a cheeky one here and run this all the way along here, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm actually going to bring the motorway across a little bit more here. So we need to work out where exactly we want things to go. So the one definite thing is that the motorway needs to run right the way across here and then needs to join in this one. So it has to go all the way over here. So essentially what we're saying is the waterfront is a bit cut off. which is one of those things. But then at the same time, we're not actually running any boats along here, so that doesn't really matter unless we wanted to put some beaches in or something like that. So we've got the elevated rail coming in here. So I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to have one that sort of comes out here, sort of to the east and finishes, and the other one's going to come in here and then move north and eventually join back in with this other elevated rail up here when we do this tile. And I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to do. But also I was thinking about, maybe using the elevated rail as a bit of a boundary between medium and high density. So I think we could do that. So no reconciliations required. So in this case, a relatively straight motorway is not the end of the world, because it's also basically saying, the bottom half has got water across it anyway. It is out the way, so we can't use this anyway unless we were doing any boats, which we're not in this particular one, because this is some sort of like moat. So that just basically gives us a border that we don't have to mess around with. So we will just do that. That's fine. So the elevated rail then, we will obviously have to work out where we want to do that. But firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series of avenues that run in here. And in particular, I want this one to go down here because this is going to be a junction. Okay. We're also going to do this. Actually, yeah, you know what? I'm going to run these north. Yeah, because obviously we haven't developed the area north yet. So we might as well just do that. Now we could also go with some roundabouts, but actually I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple of junctions like this. Although this one here I think should be a roundabout. Let's do this one as a roundabout. Because this is going to be like a major interchange of 4, so to maybe prevent some bad traffic, a roundabout is likely going to be better. So yeah, we'll do this like that. And then we'll go with, say, one more little stretch over here that will also go northbound. And we're going to say that that is going to be the end of the dense stuff. So we'll do dense buildings in here, and then we'll transition into medium. So what I want to do then is this and this, because again I want some junctions along here to be able to access this area. And then this area is going to transition into, well, basically a whole load of medium density stuff. And we might even finish up with some light density on the outside here, which I think we should. Let's have another look here and see whether we should do that or not. Because then, or do we just go? Yeah, see, yeah, we could transition into some light density, so some low density buildings out here, and then we can make a nice big area of low density. So it's like a massive suburb that joins in with Alextown. We could definitely do that. Yeah, we're going to do it like that. Okay. So, yeah, no reconciliation required. So, yeah, we'll use this stretch here. That will be our boundary. And then we'll go into low density stuff over there. Maybe do a little bit like that as well. That'll be fine. Okay, cool. And create another junction down this way. So, we need to put in some motorway junctions. So, this one is the first one. Okay, that's good. Also makes the junctions really easy because we don't have to do anything on the other side. So let's do this like that, and then of course that will make our transition relatively smooth because we can just transition. So we basically lose a lane, and then the big entrance point. So this is granting a nice big access here to this particular area. Right. Okay, fab. So that's that, and then we've also got a junction down here. Parallel ramp is probably going to be the way to go here. So if we go with a parallel ramp that basically just does that. So it's a little bit weird, but yeah. Or actually what we could do, can I bridge? No, it's not so easy to bridge. So yeah, we leave it like that. Used to, yeah, something like this is okay, and then bridge here, and so we can then go with a parallel ramp on the other side that does exactly the same thing. okay? So we can get between the two. Yeah, I'm not particularly great with parallel ramps. I don't think they're brilliant. Unless you're running roads alongside the motorway, which is a good technique to use. I've done it in City Skylines a few times, and it does an half relieve traffic. So you've got motorway for the through traffic, and then you can run it down to sort of parallel roads that run alongside the motorway. It's probably really good for city centres as well. So it's definitely worthwhile to do stuff like that. Okay, right, so the elevated rail then is going to be, a slightly more interesting conundrum, because we've got two sections here. So we've got this elevated rail that's going to come down here, and I was kind of thinking about like just ending it down this way. So if we did, say, this. Actually, no, not like that. Not going to do it like that at all. So let's do this instead. Okay, so we'll do it like this. And basically, we'll end the elevated rail there for this particular section. And we'll just run this through here. Now we can obviously change this up, which is what we will probably end up doing. There we go. We'll definitely end up changing this up. But then we can also create, say, that then sort of runs up this way, carry on up there, that then maybe sort of finishes somewhere in here. Oops, it's a bit too short. Maybe just finishes there. So we've got like little lines that sort of spur out here. So we can do that. And then this one, nice and simple, can just run almost like that. We'll have a couple of stops on there, of course we will, but that's just going to then run northbound. And so this is like a little spur, basically, that you can say sort of peels away into a couple of different sections. But we could also do maybe a spur that just comes up to here and finishes there. So we could do that. It's also a thing, so we can end it at this particular stretch. So obviously there's no connection here and there. You've got to go into the other tile to be able to connect elevated rail, but yeah, that's obviously, potentially annoying, but that's the way we're going to run it. Although, to be fair, you know what? No, we're not going to end this here. We are actually going to create a connection here. So there we go. We want people to be able to move around nice and easily. So yeah, we'll create a couple of connections there, and that will probably be fine. Okay, we also need to then put in some of these major roads. So, oh no, I can't do that, but I can do this. And so basically that needs to run through there like that, because there's going to be all the dense stuff. We can run that northbound, there's no problem with that. We will need to then connect several of these up here. At the very least we're going to need to connect some of these. So yeah, we can connect there, that's going to be fine. Okay, let's make sure let's just do a quick save here, because you never know with this game. It's happened before where things have gone kaput. And then yeah, we're just going to run a series of roads. Actually, we should probably run this one directly alongside the elevated rail, because then we can put a station in there, which is probably going to be fine. Yeah, we'll run another road across there. Let's do another one along there, like that. Also does a little bit of segregation for... yeah, there's a little bit of segregation involved for the... between residences and the elevated rail. People aren't going to want to live too close to elevated rail. So, by putting in an extra road, we're sort of saying, there's a bit of a gap there. It's going to be the middle of the city, though, so there's not much you can do about it, but... because this is all the dense stuff. I'm actually going to run all these roads north here. Might as well. And then this one, that actually connects perfectly there, so no quarrels there. Let's do this. I'll run this one pretty much down to here. That's going to be fine. Connect them together there. Continue to run it through there. That's fine. This one can join in here. This one can go across there, and probably this one as well, but we'll probably have to do it somewhere a bit further up. Like that. I'm also going to sort that out, because that is a useless connection that we do not need. So we can do that, basically. Okay, so that's obviously the dense section, and then we'll work on the medium section afterwards. So, if we put in a couple of our elevated rail stations, we can... where are we? Elevated rail station. So let's put that in there. There's obviously the road that runs... Is it definitely there? Yeah, there is. Okay, so let's put that in right on the corner. Oh, that's annoying. That is very annoying. There we go. Right, we'll have to put that back. Okay, so that can run in on the corner. Elevated rail station. So we've got one there, and then we can do the end of the line. So that's nice and simple. We've obviously got one. That's the home key, isn't it, to rotate? There we go. Let's do that. Give it its own little access there. So we connect there, we connect there, that connects in there. We can drop one there. We'll obviously need to reconnect that. I'm also going to drop one in over there as well. Right, so reconnections required here. Let's make sure all of these are done as well, because you never know. Oh, we've just done that one, so that's easy. There we are. Through there. Jolly good. Okay, so that's all connected up. So we got our stations. Excellent. So we've got light density. So let's start with a big old oil power plant here. Now, actually, yeah, we could probably use this section as a place to put large power plants. So I won't actually connect that up there, but yeah, I'm just going to use this as a section for big-ass power plants. So I don't want it too close to the water, but at the same time I don't want it too close to anything else, which is slightly annoying. So we might end up doing a little bit of farmland here, actually. So if I do a big section of farmland, actually, let's use the off-ramp there. That works perfectly. So let's do some farmland in this little section, just to basically segregate the power plants from everything else. So it's probably going to be a better idea. Cool. Okay. We could run a small amount of farming across here. Look a bit weird, but sure. Okay. We'll run a street sort of like that, and then I'll put in a road. Seems to be okay. This power is not jumping. I thought I built the power plant close enough, but obviously not. It has to jump over there with the power line, which is slightly frustrating, but what can you do? Okay, so we'll start with that, and then we will go with some medium density. So this is going to be the medium density area here, and then obviously the low density is going to be in this corner. Actually, no, let's start with this. So we're going to need a few roads that maybe just sort of go across here, like that, and they're going to be like little commercial zones. So if we go low density, say to there, also connects the power up to there, which is great, and then we'll go with commercial along these roads here, like that. That's actually perfect. There. And then something rather like that. Interestingly, they got bigger pieces there, so that's okay. And something like that. Okay, so the request for Mint Waters was it was high density and high wealth. So obviously we've got low density over here, but this is part of the transition. So this central area over here is going to be very high wealth and hopefully very high density as well. So we're actually going to be spending a fair amount of time here. First things first, smoke detector program, paper waste reduction program, and tourism promotion we're going to go with. Community CPR. Yeah, that'll do. There's also a few other ones, isn't there? Clean Air Act, we'll do that one. Tyre recycling program and the pro reading campaign. Right, so obviously there's a lot of things going on there. Neighbour deals, we can send a little bit of trash to Railbury. We will do that. Speaking of Railbury, actually, let's save and exit and let's go back into Railbury and see whether it might be able to take enough garbage. Because... So we're here. So Railbury is actually this one. It's the industrial estate. Can it take enough of our garbage? Yes, it can. My goodness, it can take a whole cohort of our garbage. So that's fabulous. We can dump off all sorts of trash there. If we wanted to, we could run like a small boat between them, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to use the road system. That's going to be fine. Okay, excellent. So now that we know that they can take our trash, we therefore don't need to do anything landfill-based. Invite man to pull up a chair. Okay, so where is Retro Green going to be living here? In between the motorway junction. No, I'm not that mean. Over by the power plant could be cool, but actually I was thinking of maybe going with a waterfront property. Like that. Sort of maybe building his own little bridge that comes in here. Like that. So just a waterfront property with a small wind turbine. It's obviously going to be a bit loud because of the motorway, but then maybe we could plant a whole load of trees here, so that eventually that will grow, and it will sort of be hidden in this little section here. Could be rather nice. Okay, so let's plant a whole load of trees in there, and let's go with that and let that grow. So then eventually it will sort of be bunched in, and it will have its own little area. So that's kind of nice. Cool. Okay, right. Of course, that's a really inefficient use of the mayor's house, because normally you would want to position it somewhere sort of in amongst your citizens, because it actually increases land value. So, but hey ho. Right, we're going to go with the large fire station nice and early here. And I think I'm going to go with 2 of them ultimately. So I'm going to plop that in. Is it going to be okay to build it here? We're going to get enough overlap. Yeah, we will do. Okay, that's fine. So it's actually going to go in at the end of the line here. Yes, I know, that's alright. Don't worry. And I'm going to increase the funding. We're going to go with 2 large fire stations across the whole city here. It's going to be fine. Yeah, no, that'll be alright. Okay, so we'll go with that. How are we doing for money? We are currently losing a little bit of money, but that's alright. Because we are now going to do some investment into some bigger density buildings. So... let's start with that over there. We'll need to work out some commercial centres as well. So, like, because we've got the medium density area here, how are we going to work out the commercial area? So, I might do something similar to what I've done before. So let's go with like a one-way road. Maybe goes all the way up here like this, so we can build a nice commercial centre in the middle of this medium density area with a road that runs through the middle, and then connect this up to various sections here. Maybe run a couple of connections in like that as well. Okay, so yeah, we could do that, and then obviously, no, the downside is it's not anywhere near the elevated rail. We could, however, maybe look into the subway system. There are no connections here. Yeah, maybe could run a small subway that sort of connects through, so it doesn't have to go very far. Like just a local one, basically. So one there, one there that covers that. One there. One there. If I was smart, I would have built an elevated rail, bus, and subway station there, which I obviously didn't do. And then there and there. And then maybe get one there and there, and try connecting these up. So essentially we've got those two there. Now this is obviously very pricey. If we do this, and say we run this across to here, ultimately to there. Is that connected? Looks like it, yeah, okay. Connect these two up, because then we can allow people to get around this way. Like that, pretty much. Just a small subway network that just connects these areas here. And so, yeah, if I was smart, I would have built the elevated rail and subway station in the same block. I did not do that though. Right, so you know that's my bad there. Right, we need more wealth in this place as well. So let's get this built here, and this built here as well. We need to run a street that essentially connects those two there, but that's okay, they don't connect to the road, so I'm happy with that. And we need to start building in a few parks and plazas and whatnot. So if we're going with high wealth, then all we really need is to build some of the bigger buildings, so the bigger parks and things like that. So we're probably going to want a large plaza somewhere in there, and probably another large plaza somewhere in there. And then we're going to want a softball field there, there, and probably there as well. Okay, that's fine. And then I'll put another one in there. And of course, after that, we then need to think about providing water to this area, because no real growth is going to happen without water. So what I'd like to do though is make enough money to be able to afford the massive water pump first though, which we are going to need. We're going to need to build the massive water pump. So if we can maybe do... Actually, yeah, let's start with that. Build that there. And then do that. That's going to be fine. So I'll shove in... I was thinking about shoving in a soccer field there, but actually let's put it in there. That's going to be fine. So we're going to go with 2. And then I'm going to build loads and loads of large plazas. So let's go 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's probably going to be alright. And so we can then distribute that wealth around here for the commercial section. So yeah, so we've already got nice big tiles there, which is what we're after. And we can use the gaps that we've got there. So let's go with the tennis courts on either side, and then some sort of gazebo. I don't know, something like that's probably going to be fine. But yeah, plenty of sort of, you know, parks and things like that that are going to help the wealth. We also need to build like hospitals and whatnot. That's going to help out further. Right, so yeah, this costs $3.5 grand a year basically. So we need to be able to make sure we can save up for that, which we definitely can't at the moment. But we also need hospitals and police. So I'll probably put them in a similar area to this fire station. We also need schools. So there's plenty of things for us to consider here. So if we go medium density residential, let's fill in this. And woo! No, that's most definitely not what I wanted to do. I don't know. Go with a softball field in there. That's also going to impact the high density stuff that we're going to build. There we go, that's better. Right. Put that in. Oops. Okay, jolly good. Did I also enact junior sports and whatnot? No, I didn't. Let's go with junior sports. That's going to be fine. We could also maybe go nuclear-free zone, which will, you know, appeases some people. So, obviously costs a lot of money, but there will be some value to doing that. I could also, I tell you what I'm also going to do. I'm also going to manipulate the taxes. So I'm going to go 7 and 5. 7 and 5. Agriculture is going to go up to, let's go 9.5. Actually, let's go up to 10. Screw it. And then everything else is fine. Okay, so I'm going to leave it right there. So in the next episode, we're going to start working on the wealth a little bit here. In particular, we actually need to water this area to encourage any kind of growth. But once we've done that, we can then work on this, develop up the medium density a little bit, and then once we've got that developed a bit more, we can then work on building some high density, because after all, the request is for high density and high wealth. So we will take it slowly. We'll start with the low density, make that good, make the high wealth here, and then eventually move across to the dense. That's it for now. Cheers for watching, guys. This has been myself, Matt Tomato. Be sure to subscribe to follow the series, and join me next time for more SimCity 4, where the region is one big city.